Hello everyone. In this video we will be looking at the integrated rate expression and rate analysis in case of zero order reactions. So this is the third part of this chapter. So maybe if you can take a look at the other two parts, you will have a better context in terms of what we are going to discuss in this particular lecture. So we'll begin with what is the significance of a zero order reaction. So we talked about the rate of a reaction, understanding of what is the rate of a reaction in the first video, and in the second video lecture we talked about the concept of order of a reaction. So here if we look at particularly the reactions having a single reactant, so this is the type of reactions we will try to analyze mostly in this chapter. So if you have a reaction which is having a single reactant, means let us say we have a reaction like there is a reactant A, straight away it is giving rise to products. If you have this kind of reaction, then the rate of the reaction can be expressed in terms of the rate of consumption of the reactant. So unit rate, we discussed about this in the first video. Unit rate can be expressed in terms of rate of consumption of the reactants or rate of formation of the products. So here the instantaneous rate of the reaction can be expressed as minus dA by dt. So this is the rate of consumption of the reactant A. So this will be independent. So this is the rate of the reaction, and this will be independent of concentration of reactant. So as per the rate law or rate expression, if we have the rate of the reaction written as rate is equal to constant K, which we call as rate constant, into concentration of the reactant, here there is only one reactant, power N. So this N is what will be the order. So if we say that the order of the reaction is 0, means the power should be 0, means if you put A to the power 0, so any number power 0 will be 1. So what we are going to be having is rate will simply be equal to a constant, and hence the rate of the reaction will be independent of concentration of the reactant. So this is the significance of what is a zero order reaction. So zero order reactions, in case we have a single reactant, they will be proceeding with a constant rate. Now we will look at what we call as integrated rate expression. First we will try to understand what is the need for the integrated rate expression. The need for the integrated rate expression is when we write the expression for the instantaneous rate of a chemical reaction. This only talks about at that particular instant how the rate of consumption of the reactant is related to the rate of the reaction, or how it is related to the concentration of the reactants. But this will not be able to help us more than that. Integrated rate expression can help us in finding how the concentration of reactant will change with respect to time. Means once we have the integrated rate expression, which we are going to anyway derive now for the zero order reaction, we will be able to tell how concentration of the reactant will be changing with respect to time. So that is the advantage of integrated rate expression. The name integrated rate expression has come because we will take the instantaneous rate expression that will come from the rate law and we integrate it. So that is the reason why we are calling it as integrated rate expression. So we will begin with the zero order reaction. So for the zero order reaction, what we have is minus dA by dt. The rate of consumption of reactant will be equal to K, constant. So on rearranging it, what we will have is minus dA is equal to K into dt. Now here the starting time at t is equal to 0, the concentration of the reactant, let us say, is A0, that is the original concentration. After some time t, let us say the concentration is becoming A. So if we are looking at integrating this particular expression, on the LHS the integration is with respect to the concentration, on the RHS it is with respect to time. So LHS, the concentration is the variable, RHS, time is the variable. So what we have is there is a minus initial limit for the concentration is A naught, final limit is A. Integral dA will be equal to integration, time will be 0 to t k dt. Now we have some basic integration results. If we have integral dx between the limits x1 to x2, so integral dx will be x. We have to substitute the final limit value minus initial limit value. So this is how we are going to get. If we have integral k into dx, where k is a constant, k will come out of the integration, so it will be k into integral dx. Again integral dx will be x. We have to substitute the final limit value minus initial limit value. So we are going to exactly use this. So if you look at integral dA, this is like integral dx, means we are going to have minus, the final limit value is a, initial limit value is a naught, will be equal to integral k dt. K is a constant. Integral dt will be t. Final limit value is t. Initial limit value is 0. So what we have is minus a plus a naught is equal to k into t. So we can write it as a, on rearranging it, a will be equal to a naught minus kt. So this is the expression for concentration of the reactant after some time t. So a will be equal to a naught minus k into t. A naught is the original concentration at the starting time. So this is what we will be calling as the integrated rate expression for the zero order reaction. So while solving problems in zero order chemical reaction, we are going to be using this particular expression. Now if you look at the graphical analysis of zero order reaction, especially in competitive examinations, we do get questions based upon the graphical analysis. So let us look at how the concentration. So broadly we are having two graphs that we'll analyze here. One is how the concentration is going to change with respect to time, and second is the rate, how it is going to change with respect to concentration. So if you look at the concentration formula that we just derived, A will be equal to a naught minus kt. If you look at it, so this is the concentration at a time t. So y is equal to c minus m into x. This is like, straight line with a negative slope, and we can see here the negative slope value is nothing but minus k. So slope here will be negative, so slope of this particular line will be minus k because the slope is going to be negative. And if you look at the particular relation, this value, that is the original concentration at the starting time, a naught, and we can look at the time where this line is going to touch the x-axis, means at this point of time the value of a is becoming 0. So this is also what we call as time of completion of the reaction. So time of completion is basically the time it takes for the entire amount of reactant to be consumed. Means in this particular formula we are going to keep a is equal to 0, means a naught minus k into t. So which means on rearranging we'll have t will be equal to a naught by k. So this is what we will be calling as the time of completion. So by the time the entire reactant would have got consumed. So this is about how concentration is going to change with respect to time, and slope of this straight line will be minus k because the slope is going to be negative slope. Now if you look at the other graph, the other graph is how rate is going to change with respect to concentration. So we have already seen for the zero order reaction, rate will be equal to just k, means it will be a straight line which will be horizontal. So it is not going to change as concentration of the reactant will be changing. So this is the graphical analysis that we can talk about for the zero order reactions. Now for any order reaction, whether it is zero order or first order or second order, we are going to be talking about this important term called as half-life. So half-life is defined as the time it takes for the reactant concentration to become half of its original value. So that is what we will be calling as the T half. So we will see how we can find the T half value for the zero order reaction. So if you look at the zero order reaction, the integrated rate expression is A is equal to A naught minus KT. If you are trying to find T half, the A value should be equal to A naught by 2. It should become half, because if the concentration at T half, it should become half of the original value. Means we are putting A is equal to A naught by 2. A naught minus K into this, we are going to write it as a T subscript half. So on rearranging, we will take it to the RHS, it will become minus. So K into T half will be equal to A naught minus A naught by 2, which is nothing but A naught by 2. So which means what we will finally have is T half will be equal to A naught by 2K. So one thing we need to understand here, that the T half value will be depending upon the original concentration A naught. And one more thing we can see, in the previous result we talked about the time of completion. So time of completion is A naught by K. We can see that the T half value is exactly half of the time of completion. T half value is exactly half of the time of completion. So this is about half-life for the zero order reaction, and we see that for the zero order reaction, the T half value is proportional to the original concentration or concentration at the starting time. Now another important factor that we can discuss here is the unit of the rate constant. So in second part video we discussed, by looking at the unit of K, we can talk about what will be the order of the reaction. So we can judge what is the order of the reaction by looking at the unit for the rate constant K. So here for the zero order reaction, what we have is rate is equal to K, and rate of the reaction generally will be mole per liter per time. So the unit of rate constant K is going to be moles per liter, which is concentration per time. So in general we can also write it as concentration into time inverse. So this will be the unit of the rate constant K. And if you go to the first order, the unit of the rate constant will be changing. We already saw that for the first order reaction, the rate constant unit will be independent of the concentration term. So while we said that the rate of the reaction does not depend upon the concentrations of the reactants, it just goes little bit against our common notion that if we have more reactant particles, then obviously there is more chance for them to react, and we should see that the rate must be higher if we are having the concentration to be high. If we are having concentration less, then the rate should be less. So general understanding we have is that rate should somehow depend upon the concentration of the reactants. But we are saying that for the zero order reaction, rate will be independent of the concentration of reactant. Means rate is driven by something else. It is not dependent upon the concentration of reactants. It is driven by something else. So what are some of the practical examples? So we may not have a reaction which will be absolutely having a rate which is zero order, but we'll have reactions which are close to zero order. Means the rate of the reaction will be almost independent of the concentration. It is going to be driven by some other factor. So let us look at it. If we take for example the photochemical reaction between hydrogen and chlorine to produce the HCl gas, then in that particular reaction the rate of the reaction is driven by the presence of the energy given by the radiation. So it is not going to be that much dependent upon the concentration of hydrogen and chlorine gases. Similarly, if you look at the decomposition of N2O on a hot platinum surface, the rate of the reaction will be dependent upon the availability of the platinum surface and not so much on the concentration of N2O. Similarly, the decomposition of ammonia in the presence of molybdenum or tungsten, the rate is going to be determined again by the available surface area of the molybdenum or tungsten and not so much on the concentration of the ammonia. So this is how we will have near to zero order reaction, because practically we may not have rate totally independent of concentration, but it is going to be driven by some other factor. So these are the kind of examples we can have for the zero order reactions. Zero order reactions, we will usually not get many questions in competitive examinations because even the rate expression is it's a pretty straightforward thing. Mostly in this chapter the first order reactions is the favorite area for the numericals. We do get a lot of questions based upon the first order, but occasionally we can even get some questions on the zero order. So if at all we get questions, the questions will be based upon the integrated rate expression or the graphical analysis. So let us look at this question. For a zero order reaction with rate constant 0.02 mole per liter per second. So this is the K value, rate constant. How much time it would take for the concentration to reduce from 0.8 mole per liter to 0.3 mole per liter? It's a straight question. So what they're saying is A naught is equal to 0.8 moles per liter. A concentration after some time is 0.3 moles per liter. K value is 0.02 moles per liter per second. So we need to find what is the T at which the concentration becomes 0.3 moles per liter. So what is the equation we have for the zero order reaction? A is equal to A naught minus KT. So A is 0.3 is equal to 0.8 minus 0.02 into T. So here moles per liter will be cancelled, and we are going to be having just second over here. So both LHS and RHS we can cancel the moles per liter. So on bringing these to the LHS, what we have is 0.3 minus 0.8 will be minus 0.5 is equal to minus 0.02 divided by second into T. So the time is going to come in terms of unit of second. So we have minus over here, minus minus will be cancelled. So the T value, so the 0.02 will go to the denominator. 0.5 divided by 0.02, the total value is in seconds. This will be the T. So if you multiply by 100 both in numerator and denominator, we'll have 50 by 2, which is going to be 25 seconds. So the time it takes for the concentration to reduce from original value of 0.8 moles per liter to 0.3 moles per liter will be 25 seconds. So these are the kind of problems we will be having on the zero order reaction. Now in the next video we will talk about the first order reaction and the integrated rate expression for the first order reaction. So that's one of the very important areas for questions in this chapter.